California's Gold is produced in association with KCET Los Angeles and is seen statewide on California Public Television. This series is endorsed by the California Teachers Association, the California School Boards Association, and the California Library Association.
This program is made possible in part by the Kern County Board of Trade. Kern County is a great place to work, a great place to live, and one of California's beautiful and diverse areas to visit. Be it for the young or the young at heart, for one or for the entire family, Kern County has something for everyone. From adventure to relaxation, Kern County is truly a special place to experience and explore.
Well, hello everybody, I'm Huell Hauser, and here we are on this absolutely beautiful morning in Kern County, about 15 miles east of Bakersfield. Now, at first glance, it looks like we're just kind of standing out here in the middle of this open area, not much going on. But if you know what you're looking for, all along these foothills here, all the way around, back to those hills off in the distance, if you know what you're looking for, they tell me you'll get pretty excited. Now, to be honest with you, I'm not excited yet. But in just a few minutes, I think we're all going to get excited, because what's in these hills is a true California treasure right here in Kern County. Okay, our adventure begins, and I got to tell you, I am excited just being here and looking at this. Now I know what it is. I'm getting excited about it. Bob, you're going to be our guide today. This is your land. Now tell everybody not where we are today, but where we would have been 15 million years ago if we had been standing here doing this interview.
Well, this was a large embayment which stretched all the way to San Francisco, Sacramento, and to the south, the San Lucia mountain range. And this was a body of water that covered this complete area.
A sea.
A sea.
A huge sea.
This was the Temblor Sea. And at that time, it was huge. California was probably 2/3 underwater at that time.
Under seawater.
Under seawater.
And you say the sea came in up in San Francisco through the bay there and covered all of what would be Central California today.
It covered all of Central California. The only outlet at that time were one at San Francisco and one at Avila or the San Luis area.
Wow, that is amazing. And you say we'd be standing about 200 feet underneath the sea right now.
Right. Now, other rivers were coming into this area, similar to the Kern River. So we had a lot of sloughing, and the sloughing would build the sediment up, but then there would be troughs on the side that were extremely deep. So that accounts for having shallow water animals here and deep water.
Yeah, because we're not just talking about the ocean, we're talking about the animals in and around the ocean. And that's what makes where we're standing such a treasure, because look, I'm just standing here. This is what got me excited. Just walking over to this spot, I found my first bone. This is a real bone from a real animal that was here 15 million years ago. What are we looking at?
We're looking at partial rib, which probably was a whale. Whale usually is a porous inner, so you can tell whale from sea lion.
So this is a whale bone. And how do we know it's 15 million years old?
We've had carbon dating, and then Caltech came up about a year ago, and they now do the reverse magnetic dating, which we did at the site over to the right. And they came up with 15.2 million.
Because look right over here in the cut in the mountain over there. This is what Bob has done over the last couple of years. You had an archaeological dig right over there.
Yes, we did.
And you got another one going right over here. And look, I'm telling you, just walk and look at the size of this thing. What is this?
Well, this is the proximal end of a mandible or jaw to a baleen whale.
A baleen whale. And then when you walk over here, everywhere you look are bones. I mean, there are bones. Look at this. 4 bones, 5 bones. Right here. Here's another bone. Right over here. Here's a whole pile of bones. There's no shortage. Look at this. There's no shortage of bones here, are there?
the many whales. The whales were small, but the many animals that died here have just loaded this. The estimation is something like 35 individual bones per square foot of digging. That
35 bones per square foot. So you're talking about millions of whales.
Millions of whales. And following those whales were millions of sharks.
Sharks. Now that's what gets exciting, because this area that we're in has been known by the locals here in Kern County for a long time as
Sharktooth Hill.
Sharktooth Hill. And that's because in addition to the whales, which you have tens of millions of whales, I guess if you dug all through there, that's all you'd find, just whale bones.
Most of the strata from the clay where it turns light, the other is overburden. Most of that has whale, sea lion, all types of different marine animals.
Now the sharks came into this picture because they ate the whales.
The whales. They were predatory, and they were preying upon the small whales. And there were millions of whales at that time, and these whales were small. They very seldom exceeded 30 feet in length.
So this was happy hunting for the
This
sharks.
was the trove right here for those predators.
Now we got a group of people, volunteers out here, digging away while we're standing on the side watching. We got them digging out something that you found just the other day.
Yes, Huell.
What are we looking at?
We're looking at, this is a baleen whale, and it's called a Typhlocetus, cetus being the whale family.
Is this the head?
This is the top of the skull is here, and the zygomatics where the eyes fit in would be here. The end of it, this is where the condyles are located underneath.
What's down here? What's this?
That's part of the rostrum.
What does that mean? I don't know.
Well, that's the snout.
The snout of the whale.
The snout of the whale.
Now, is it unusual to find one in this good a shape?
We
all
have
together like this, or is it mainly just bones that are?
No, we get above the bone bed. When we go through this, we will find associated and articulated skulls.
So there's skulls all over this place.
There's skulls all over.
Wait a minute, I'm looking over here. Look at this. This isn't a...
No, that's the cow one.
This is a cow bone.
That's a cow bone. That's a bovine.
Well, I don't know what I'm looking for. I get excited about any kind of a bone I find around here. That's part of the history of this area, though. It was used as a cattle ranch.
That's right, and it still is.
All right, so let's put the cow bone back, but let's just go right up here and see how do you tackle something this massive? How do you start knowing where to dig?
Well, I know where to dig by looking at the color of the formation. And the silt, Round Mountain silt, that's why they call this formation. It's actually a member of the Temblor formation. But the silt is a lighter clay color. And as soon as I see that, I know that probably 10, 12 feet.
Yeah, see, this is all this silt.
Right.
So this was all at the bottom of the sea.
This was at the bottom.
Wow. And why would all of these whales be preserved here? Just because when they were eaten by the sharks, their bones, and then the sharks died, and just all these bones just kind of settled together here?
There are many theories that there are calving areas in Mexico that where the gray whales come in, and they think that this was probably a calving area. And we find many juvenile whales here. So we know that that's probably what the sharks were coming in and preying upon the juvenile whales.
And this went on all through this area for probably over 1 million years.
They think that it was laid down in approximately 200,000, where there was a lot of energy. That's why the bones are all pushed out.
What do you mean a lot of energy?
Well, currents were moving to the northwest. So if we find a bone there, if we find an associated bone, it'll be in sequence to the way the current was moving.
Because the current was moving.
That's exactly.
And are all of these hills, if we went out here with a pick and shovel, anywhere in this area, we'd find whale bones.
The Round Mountain silt deposit is under every one of these hills.
As far as we can see.
As far as we can see.
So this must be an absolute, look at this, just going up here. This must be an absolute treasure trove for people who are into this kind of thing, because you don't even have to hunt for them. They're everywhere. I mean, look at this, just right here, just leaning over, picking them up. There are 3 bones right there.
3 bones. Most of those are rib.
Wow. And this just goes on all the way through here, all the way down through here. Bones, 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 bones.
The vertebra.
That's a vertebra?
That's a vertebra from whale.
Wow. This is almost too easy.
Well, the deposit is the largest in the world.
This is the largest?
This is the largest assemblage of marine mammal and fish in the world.
In the world?
In the world, Middle Miocene.
Well, it's one thing to get excited about an intact whale skull like the one you found there, Bob, but it's another to get excited about what I'm holding in my hand, because this takes us into the Sharktooth Hill part of the story. Look what we found right here by the whale skull. These are honest-to-goodness shark teeth.
Actually, they're something that we find readily each and every day, and they're mako shark, which the predominant species here was mako, and we probably find, I probably dig in a morning 200 of these teeth every day.
Well, the people of Bakersfield tell me they've been coming up here for generations digging out these shark teeth.
Right. They are the glamour of Sharktooth Hill. And people for years, the school children used to come up here on field trips.
And just dig out the shark teeth.
Dig out the shark teeth.
Well, it's exciting to find shark teeth. And I'm curious how big were these like great white sharks?
These teeth, the makos, were as large as the great white, the Carcharias, the great white shark today. And the great white today's teeth are 2 inches, 2 1/4. And the one here, the larger tooth you have in your hand, is a 2-inch. So we're looking at one that was close to a great white shark today.
How big did these sharks get? Because they were eating these whales.
Right. Well, the megalodon, which that's the giant shark, and he is the one that was foraging primarily on the whales. But this animal, according to his teeth, we can only guess because we do not have the skeleton. They were made up of cartilage, so the only thing remaining are the teeth. So consequently, we take their teeth, in modern day teeth, and this animal, this megalodon tooth, indicates that shark was 55 feet in length. As large as a Greyhound bus.
A shark as large as a Greyhound bus?
Correct.
And there were hundreds of them in this sea.
This sea probably housed, like today, they were sort of a loner, but it had hundreds and hundreds of these large giant sharks.
Well, there must have been thousands of them, because if people have been pulling these, and we just found these just walking around here, people have been pulling these shark's teeth out of here for generations. So there are millions of these teeth up here in these hills.
Right. Well, since 1853, they've been collecting here in the Round Mountain silt, and you're right, they've been finding hundreds and hundreds of teeth a day. of this size and larger.
Now, is this fossilized?
That's
is this
fossilized.
Because it looks like it looks like a real tooth.
It's fossilized and it looks like a real tooth. Even the megalodon teeth, the serrations are still intact. I mean, when you run your finger down, you can understand they were a cutting machine that could slice through bone, flesh, gristle. It made no difference.
Wow, this is absolutely amazing. Can I keep this?
You bet.
It's okay.
Yes, it is.
Well, people have been getting them for years. I guess we should let people know that it's not really open to the public to come up here and just dig willy-nilly anymore, right?
Right.
Boy, talk about moving. We have now come 15 miles and 15 million years in time. We are now in downtown Bakersfield, and we're getting ready to go in this wonderful museum to see where those shark teeth and whale bones have come to rest. This is their new home, the Buena Vista Museum of Natural History. All right, this tops anything I saw out in the ground earlier today. Tell us what we're looking at here.
This is a fully articulated Alodesmus sea lion.
Fully articulated means it's got all the bones.
That's right. All the bones are exactly in the place that they would be today if you found this animal San Francisco Bay.
Now, did they dig this up off where we just were out at Sharktooth Hill?
They dug this from just around the corner from where we were today.
And doesn't this hold a record?
This is the most fully complete articulated sea lion in the world.
In the world?
In the world.
Now, Ben's got a good story about this whale skull.
Whale skull, not whale skull, Alodesmus skull, a female Alodesmus. And anyway, she was out placidly swimming around one day when a shark snuck up on her and bit her head off.
Now, how do we know that?
Well, there's the tooth sticking right out of her head.
So this is the tooth
right.
from the shark that went into the bone of this whale head.
Oh, no, sea lion. Sea lion,
I'm
head,
sorry,
right?
sea lion head.
Right.
And the sea lion head just snapped right off.
Right. It fell to the bottom, and it was quickly covered by sediments. And there it remained for some 15 million years until we dug it up.
We got a
leatherback turtle skull from the Miocene time period.
A leatherback turtle, and this was found at Sharktooth Hill as well.
It was, and it is the largest leatherback turtle skull to have ever been found.
And is this all part of the turtle down here?
Yes, you've got the shoulders and also part of its flippers, and on the other side we actually have its shell.
So you found more than just sharks and whales and...
Yes, they've found the sea lions, the Alodesmus, the Desmostylus, the whales. There's been a large assemblage of marine mammals found in that area.
What are we looking at here, Bill? This is huge. Did this come from your land?
This came from Sharktooth Hill.
What is this?
This is an Alodesmus sea lion, which was fully associated so that we could put it back together, the actual animal you're looking at that we found. And
is this bigger than a...
Yes, the neck is much longer than the modern day sea lion.
Well, this whole thing, the body is big.
Right. This animal probably was doing more than just pulling itself along on the sand. It was getting up on all fours and actually walking down the beach.
Now we're in the back room in the lab here at the museum, and are all these from Sharktooth Hill?
These are all from Sharktooth Hill.
What is this?
That's a piece of horse fossil.
Horse? Mm-hmm. What was a horse doing in the ocean?
Well, it wasn't actually in the ocean. There were rivers that flowed from the hills at that time into the bay there. And so
it would have washed in. Like this down.
Yes, and then it landed in the silt there, and so then it's in part of the bone
you never
bed.
know what you're going to find.
We don't.
What are you finding right here?
I haven't the slightest idea. Haven't removed enough matrix to tell.
So wait a minute, they just bring a big clump of earth like this and say get a toothbrush and start whittling away at it.
That's it.
Do you have any idea?
Nope, not the slightest.
So
but
did-
that's part of the intrigue about and why you want to do this and why you want to do it carefully, because you don't want to damage anything that's
You
in
never
there.
know what you're going to find.
No.
This is a piece of a sea lion tooth, though, that has been found.
Yeah,
A sea lion tooth.
Yes.
just took that off of this matrix here.
So wait a minute, this sea lion tooth came out of this.
That's correct.
Wow, this is fascinating. And what are you working on over here?
This is a mako shark's tooth. It's the color purple because of the manganese, and this is possibly what we think is bird bone.
Wow, this is so interesting just to see these things kind of reemerge, because I'm sure when you first saw this, you weren't sure what it really looked like. I'm not sure what it is now.
You've got. Go ahead.
It's a mandible of a whale,
All right.
and it was broken, and we can end up gluing this together. It's not cleaned yet, and there's a vertebrae of the whale, and this is some just hard matrix that's on there. Then we'll have to use airbrush to get it off.
Wow, this is like a sense of discovery.
It's a treasure hunt every day, and I absolutely love my job because not only running the museum here, but I get to see the treasures that come in all the time. So we get to bring in the different boxes of matrix, and we work on it, and it's constantly, look what we found now.
Yeah.
So it's exciting.
This has got to be the favorite exhibit when the school kids come in, right?
Absolutely. This is one of the most favorite ones because this shark was the largest shark that ever lived, the megalodon Carcharocles.
All right, now wait a minute. To show just how big that shark is, Cameron, tilt up just a little bit. That is the shark's mouth, his jaws.
Yeah, that's a rendering done by the Smithsonian of the jaw. And they say that you can stand 6 men 6 foot tall up in his jaw.
Fellas, that is almost impossible to believe that a shark could be that big.
The the British Museum of Natural History, they have enacted a jaw that they have 6 full-grown men standing inside of.
But now this would have been right here in Kern County.
This was right here in Kern County. This animal was 55 feet in length.
Oh, that's the one that's as big as a bus.
That's as big as a large
That
greyhound.
could eat a whale, couldn't it?
Yes, when it clamped down on a whale, I think probably the beginning of the end was starting.
That was the beginning and the end of
And
the
the
end.
end.
Right there. And then we've got the teeth right here.
His teeth.
And this is an exhibit right here that these teeth, it's hard to believe that these are real teeth that big.
Yeah, they are real teeth, and they're just as sharp as the day they came out of the mouth of the shark. And they're fossilized. These are some of the larger ones that we have found off the hill. And this is one of our great exhibits that people come to see.
And if we needed any proof, here's one that we've taken out of the case. And this huge tooth, when you rub your finger up and down the side, it's still got the
Serrated edge.
Yeah, it's still got the perfect edge to it after 15 million years.
It's just almost as if we had just taken it out of the mouth.
Now, how many of these would be in that big old mouth up there?
The larger teeth, approximately 44. Now,
44 of these
but
things.
now they had 3 and 4 rows that were developing. A shark will lose a tooth every 6-7 days, even if it doesn't forage.
So that's another reason there's so many teeth up there.
Many. They go through 10 to 15,000 teeth in a lifetime.
Oh my! You didn't tell me that. So you've got thousands of shark going through tens of thousands of teeth in their lifetime.
That's right. So all of that mathematically accumulates to millions.
Here, hold that tooth a minute. I want to pull the tooth that you gave me from up at your place. This looks kind of puny right now. I was excited about this thing.
Well, the tooth in your hand is a mako, and this is a megalodon. There was a big difference in the size of these teeth or sharks.
Wow, what a difference, boy. This is kind of puny right now. Well, we are ending up our adventure back here looking out at this amazing vista, looking out over Sharktooth Hill. Thank you so much, Bob, for allowing us to dig around a little bit on your land today. Coral, thank you for taking us to that amazing museum, which is a true treasure for all of California. Now, it used to be for generations people could just come out here and dig. Anytime, any place, they could just dig. It's not possible to do that now that we know how valuable this resource is, but people can still come out a couple of times a year and be a part of all this excitement, can't they?
Yes, for a very modest fee. We have that available through the museum twice a year. And if they contact the museum, we can connect them with a dig.
So what do? You sign them up, you bring them out here, you give them a pick and a shovel and say, dig away?
Actually, they have to bring their own tools, too.
And they get to keep anything they find unless it's something of great significance.
All those items of scientific value or something that we're looking for at the museum that matches something we already have, those come to the museum's repository. Anything else, usually they are allowed to keep. So it's the scientific value that we're looking for to make sure that those are preserved.
Yeah, and the people who come out here get turned on to being part of an honest-to-goodness archaeological dig and get the excitement. I mean, I didn't have to dig very far, but I can tell you, finding this shark's tooth would well be worth the trip out here. This has got to make people just go crazy when they find these things.
It does, and the paleontologists that work with them out here, it's great, you know, because we do have some amateur paleontologists and we do have professionals that are on site while the groups are digging.
Well, I'm definitely amateur, but I've got my shark's tooth right here, and I'm excited. You told me I was going to get excited.
We told you.
I'm excited. This has been absolutely wonderful. This amazing bit of California history called Sharktooth Hill, buried here under this huge ocean 15 million years ago. And it's still here today and being uncovered bit by bit. This place is definitely one of Kern County's, one of California's true treasures. Well, hello, everybody. I'm Huell Hauser, and I sure hope you enjoyed our visit to Sharktooth Hill in Kern County. If you'd like to go on this adventure again, share it with family or friends, or perhaps donate a copy to your local school or library. It's available on video cassette and on DVD. All you have to do is call 1-800-266-5727, and we'll be glad to send it to you right away.
Funding was generously provided by the following: Chevron. Together, imagine the energy we can create. Tejon Ranch. Preserving California's legacy, providing for California's future. Castle & Cook. Creating great communities, friendly neighborhoods by design. Bright House Networks. One connection, endless possibilities. Additional support provided by the Kern County Board of Trade.